Is your fraction equal to 1/3?
No. Now, look at the fractions you have left on your paper. None of the fractions you have left on your paper are equal.
Third grade students in New York and Florida are playing Mystery Fraction. Each group of students has the identical sheets of paper in front of them.
Is your numerator 4?
Each class selected a fraction prior to the Skype, and now the other class is asking yes or no questions to try and guess the other class's fraction.
That was a good question because there's only 2 fractions on the board that have a numerator of 4, so they helped themselves out a lot with that one. Can you say that one more time?
Yes, we will. Let's say it together as a class.
Is your fraction 4/5?
The excitement was probably something I love to see the most.
Hello.
Hi boys and girls, my name is Mrs. Duquette and this is my 3rd grade class that has been collaborating with you on fraction word problems. We just came up with a fun name for our collaboration. We said you're our Florida fraction friends.
Yay.
We used some alliteration there. We are so excited to meet you today and play our mystery fraction game. A lot of how I found classes was through the internet and social networking on Twitter and or Facebook. I'm in a lot of groups and communities, and that's how I've actually found the connections. But most of the connections that we've made this year have been through Skype as well as Flipgrid, using that tool. One of the connections I've made this year, we've also used a joint class in Seesaw, which is an online portfolio, and I became a co-teacher in that teacher's group. So we were able to communicate that way because of a time zone difference.
Connections can also be made between 2 neighboring school districts. As part of the Kindness Rocks project, students from East and West Irondequoit came together to paint rocks and then spread them throughout the community. Then, students used shared documents and digital resources to create a scavenger hunt made out of QR codes. Upperclassmen from both districts were invited to participate in the scavenger hunt. The final phase was creating a scavenger hunt on Goose Chase, where any member of the Irondequoit community could sign in and participate in the scavenger hunt. The freshmen awarded the winner a certificate and gift certificates to local businesses.
All right, so right now students are creating their 3 truths and 1 lie statements from their brainstorming sheets after watching 2 videos. Afterwards, students are going to comment on each other's to identify the false or the lie statement.
For this activity, all of the students in all of the teachers' classes were writing their 3 truths and a lie on the same Padlet.
Now students are commenting on another student's 3 truths and 1 lie. They're trying to identify which one the lie is. When they're done, the student will let them know. They can comment back and let them know which one is the lie.
Well, it isn't more of, it's more of like hands-on practice rather than a lecture, which is much better for people who work with their hands and rather than just listening.
Classes are really loud.
And then one that isn't. Somebody else can type it in. So 3 points that are actually on. And then one that
No. Remember that you don't actually. Oh, it's the same. It's just your variable. And the calculator variable is always going to be 4x. Is that you? Okay, guys, your table on your own. Do you want a normal? So what number is this?
6, 0.
So
But make sure you do it on live.
For this activity, students in a high school class and students in a middle school class worked on the same Padlet simultaneously. Each group of students had to write down 3 points that satisfied their equation and 1 point that did not satisfy their equation. Then they had to comment on someone's from another class and identify which point was the lie.